Hi, everyone, and welcome to Huddle in Place with the Nine-Sided Circle. It is May 22nd, and we are on episode 53. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Noor Kyle, and I'm in Los Angeles currently.
And I am your other host, Mushtaq Ali, and I'm in the Bay Area hanging out with the frogs today.
Froggies!
Froggies
On lily pads.
on lily pads.
It's beautiful lilies.
Yeah, I like them. They're lilies.
Nice purple.
Yeah. Nackrosen.
Yeah?
That's the Swedish name for lily. Nackrosen, which means water rose.
Oh, I like that. All right, so do we have any updates we want to offer today?
The world is weird.
Yes.
It
continues to be weird.
Some places are being very good about enforcing the must-wear masks thing. Some places not so much.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people. Friday is my shopping day, so I went to Target early in the morning, and about half the people in there were not wearing masks. Nobody was doing anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated time where we're definitely, I think there's a lot of confusion about what's what, because you have one authority giving one set of recommendations or whatever, and then you have another authority, another authority saying something totally different.
Yeah, here's the thing though. All of these places are private property.
Mm-hmm.
And on private property, the owner determines what the rules are.
Yeah.
Yeah, the First Amendment means that the government cannot infringe on your free speech rights. It doesn't say anything about anybody else. I can infringe on your free speech rights in my house all I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been known to do that once or twice.
It's your house, damn it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I ain't the government.
Right.
Because if I were the government, everybody would have ice cream right now.
Right now?
Right now, everybody would have ice cream.
Vote for Mushtaq, because that's what I want.
Yeah.
Ice cream.
Except
right
that
now.
I refuse the job. Because I ain't that dumb. But if I did, you'd all have ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate that.
Yep.
Forward thinking.
Continues to completely enforce the mask regulation on their property. Yeah. So we like Costco.
The big box store, for those who don't know. I know they have Costco elsewhere, but
Yeah.
All right.
I appreciate that because I prefer not to die.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the big update from up here in the Bay Area.
Well, here in LA, we just had, I think we just hit like 2,000 deaths in LA County or something like that, or in the state of California. Unfortunately, I'm not sure which, but in any case, as I've mentioned previously, LA has been one of the, basically the hardest hit place in California and, all along the West Coast. And so with that comes a lot of responsibilities around making sure that things don't get out of hand a second time. But people are really struggling financially because we do have a lot of lower income individuals, especially in LA County. People who are living close together, all these things where, they're especially vulnerable. And LA County is being slow to open, but we also have a lot of both legitimate protest activity and also a lot of propaganda activity pushing for things to open up quicker.
Yep.
And finding the balance there is proving really challenging. And I think that's going to be an ongoing thing, and it's probably becoming worse over time because it's becoming a partisan political issue as well. And that's something we're seeing across the US right now. And it's going to have repercussions. We don't know exactly what those will be, but we have an election coming up this year for our office of the presidency, you know, so
Yep, and a whole bunch of House and Senate seats.
yeah, this could go a lot of different ways. So people are caught up in a lot of inner turmoil, I guess we could say. And that was why we wanted to discuss for our topic today spiritual house cleaning.
Yes,
Yep.
because these kinds of situations can allow you to accumulate a whole lot of detritus upon your spirit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's no good for nobody.
Not for you, not for the people around you, not for your community, so on
Nothing
and so forth.
bad. Yeah. So what do you do?
Well, first of all, what does it look like to have a lot of spiritual detritus? What does it feel like, do you think?
I think that it feels like having your thoughts roiling around certain issues all the time and having feelings about that.
Yeah.
So you're always coming back to, for instance, the issue of it's dangerous to go out.
Yep.
Or the issue of the man is keeping me down and messing with my freedoms because I can't go out, or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever you're obsessing on is bad for your spirit.
Yeah, I mean, it might not even be pandemic related. Maybe
Yeah.
you've just spent so much time on the internet lately that you're feeling like, wow, I mean, this is how I've been feeling, in that it feels like a lot of, as Mushtaq and I have described it, like a lot of content calories. I've been
Yes.
overeating content, and now I'm feeling a bit overfull
Yep.
and uncomfortable. Yep.
So, yeah, I get the same thing, but for me, it's like it reminds me that I'm surrounded by idiots.
Yeah.
I see people putting stuff out. One of my favorites lately is this thing conflating gun rights with mask wearing, and they're doing, wearing a mask is protecting yourself and others from something. And that's just like carrying a gun, but it's not. There is no person carrying a gun where the gun protects you from them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way. And I'm not saying you shouldn't carry a gun. I think everybody should carry guns. We should be like 2 guns, one in each hand. Yeah, I was an original member of the Guns and Dope Party.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yeah. All the guns, all the time, all the dope, all the time.
The K's Guns and Ganja Party, is that what it was?
Yeah, Guns and Ganja. Well, it was originally called the Guns and Dope Party.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And
Expanding
then it
their
became the Guns, Gays, and Dope Party. Gay marriage for everybody. Guns for all the gays so that they can protect their ganja and their marriage.
Yes. So
this is a parody, by the way, just in case you were wondering.
Oh man. So I mean, for me personally, it's just been like, I would guess it's like it's an overindulgence, but it's like a gluttony. It's like it's put in front of you. You don't need to consume it, but it's there calling to you. And at some point, you need to know when to cut yourself off. So we're talking a little bit about that, like, cutting yourself off, and then how do you recover? What do you do after that? So yeah, I mean, some of it involves just like simple things we discussed before in terms of news consumption hygiene, like limiting checking the news to like once per day, and checking local and maybe federal stuff that affects you personally or people in your community.
Yeah, and as much as possible, stay away from the stupid shit that other people elsewhere in the world are doing. I mean, sometimes you need to know a little bit about that. Like if you were going to be going to Louisiana or Mississippi, you might want to know that they're going to be having, big gatherings or something if they do.
Yeah.
That could be useful. But if you ain't going there, who cares?
Yep.
And if you care what Ted Nugent thinks, one way or the other, You need to wash out your soul. Remember, this is the guy who shit himself to avoid the draft.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Lord. So yeah, a little bit of it is about getting your priorities straight and having some discipline around the media you consume. So not spending every free moment flipping through Tinder or Twitter or Facebook
Does
or
Tinder have
Instagram.
news?
No, but it's some people indulge,
Okay.
just as an entertainment,
I thought I
quote
was
unquote
missing
entertainment.
something here.
We're not talking just news, we're
Yeah.
talking just like in
News is one thing.
yeah,
Social media is another.
yeah. I mean, there's some weird overlap there, but it's
Yeah.
almost beside the point. For
Yeah.
me, the idea is just like this overwhelm of input, which usually these days is coming from the internet.
Yep. Yeah. Social media is like news from the cesspool.
Yes. So,
Period. I mean, it's like, let's hear from this bacterium.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, pretty much social media takes everything down to the lowest common denominator,
mm-hmm.
especially the public parts of it. I can hang out with my friends and have good conversations. Like, Dr. Bill and I exchange messages all the time. And I find those uplifting. His information is always solid, it's always scientific, it's always thoughtful. And I come away from it going, ah.
Yeah,
And then I see people who post messages from Ted Nugent, and it's like, no.
yeah.
The illogic hurts sometimes.
It does. It definitely can be,
So avoid it.
yes,
It's
overbearing.
it's
Yeah.
like the guy who goes to the doctor and says, "Doctor, when I do this, it hurts." And the doctor says, "Don't do that."
So yeah, spiritual overwhelm. Let's touch on that.
Yes.
Like,
That
um,
is when the stuff that is coming in is punching all of your feel buttons to the
yes.
point where you cannot deal with it anymore.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, they talk about a window of tolerance, right? And
Yeah.
so much of the time we're taking in things that push us beyond our window of tolerance or whatever. And that's what ends us up in this feeling of like, input indigestion, basically. And sometimes it's even worse than that. Like it can put you into a depressive episode or something like that. So it's something to watch out for. So yeah, when we're feeling bombarded kind of like in, psycho-emotionally, intellectually, by things that stir us up to the point where we want to just tune out and shut down,
Yep.
then we know there's something going on that we need to pay attention to inside of ourselves.
So, Lady Noor,
Yeah.
what can we do about this? How do we fix this
Yeah.
problem?
So we can engage in activities that help us. I mean, God, the word that's coming up for me is detox, which I'm not really a huge fan of because I feel like we use it in so many weird ways. But
In so many wrong ways.
yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's the word I want to use right now, but there are things we can do to kind of like slew off what we're calling like the spiritual detritus. And
Tell us about that.
yeah, so a few of the ways that we came up with is taking time to write down all the things that are coming up. It could be thoughts, it could be feelings, it could be ideas that are just really not serving you. You take the time to write them down, and then however ceremonially you feel like doing it, you can set them alight and burn them, because this is a way of symbolically and literally clearing those things away. And as Mushtaq and I have talked about, this is one very traditional way of doing that. And that may speak to some of you, it may speak to many of you as a way to slew off, like I said, the detritus that builds up from all the content we're drinking in all the time. That tends to become burdensome and weighing us down and holding us back from the things that are really more important to us, the things that really enrich the time that we're spending in our day-to-day lives. Just, you know. So that's one thing.
That's one thing. Another thing, one that I recommend to anybody who has a religious bent, is giving your concerns, your thoughts, and your worries to the deity of your choice. Doesn't matter. I mean, they all seem to do this. So, you know, if you are a Hindu, you know, giving it to Shiva or Kali to destroy for you could work quite nicely. You know, the Abrahamic religions, you just give it up to God.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
put it in God's hands. I mean, yeah, we can be a little facetious, but people do
works.
these things because they work. Exactly. And there's a long tradition of that. And that exists for a reason.
Yep.
So if that's a method that speaks to you, try that out.
Yeah, do it, because if it does speak to you, it works. If you are an atheist, you can give this shit up to the universe. Mm-hmm. You can give this up to the heat death of the universe.
Yep.
Right? Give it up as waste heat to go out there. And that works too. Mm-hmm. What else?
And another option in terms of the ceremonial is literally taking bath, like making that a sacred practice for yourself as a way to clean away the baggage that you're carrying.
Yep. The tradition of the ceremonial bath is found in hundreds of different places around the world, in every kind of faith you can think of.
Yep.
So there might be something to it. You never know. If everybody's doing it, there might be a reason for it.
So try that out if that speaks to you.
Yeah. You got one last one?
We have, yes. So, yeah, once you are able to find a way to clear that stuff away, you can make an intention to, to keep an eye on that feeling when it comes up, to make note of it, and to find ways to enrich yourself instead of taking in all those extra calories of content just because it's in front of you. You can turn towards things that you find fortifying or soothing, even if that's what you're going to need in that moment. And find 3 things like that and give that energy to those things instead.
That is very good advice.
Mm-hmm. So what might some of those things be for you, Mushtaq?
Doing my meditative practice is one of those things.
Yeah.
I find that very, very nurturing.
Yeah. I think that's the key, right?
Yeah, and if you don't have a meditative practice, we have meditation on sale today. You can find out free meditation just by looking through our videos here on YouTube.
Yep. So yeah, we have our practices, and there are plenty of others online too.
Yep. I'm actually building a special playlist. I didn't tell you about this. That is just practices.
Awesome. So that's good, because there are plenty of times when it would be great to just turn to that and be like, here's a resource. So yeah, we'll be able to do that.
Yep.
So one for me is, um, I talked a little bit about this yesterday. Like fans, for some reason, I find them to be kind of a quick way for me to induce tranquility. Like if I turn one on and sit in front of it. So that's a favorite of mine. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sitting in front of a fan right now, so I can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soothing. And I'm sure that you guys can think of your own, you know,
Yeah.
whether it's taking a bath, lighting a candle, burning incense, um, watching a show that is not like overly, you know, stimulating for you psycho-emotionally, that kind of thing. Sometimes you need to just take a break from that stuff. So go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You deserve it. Take it easy.
So that's what we got for you today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And as always, as you can see, like we are deriving our content from things that we're going through. So we're here in it with you. We know. And we're always here to support you guys in any other ways that you might be looking for support if we can do that for you. So
Yep.
thanks for joining us as always. And we
We'll
will
see
have
you tomorrow.
we'll have another video tomorrow. So take care.